Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Cabinets of Doctor Arcana. But you may be wondering, Lupin, what's left to do for this game? Well, I had an idea in between one of the videos, I forget which one, for one last thing to do. I'm going to read the entire Cheater's Compendium in my snarky voice. In the snarky voice I've been using. Like, I've already read a good chunks of it, but I'm gonna do it from beginning to end. Oops. Maybe messed up the microphone a little, I had to adjust it. Yeah. I'm gonna do a full reading of this thing just for fun. With maybe a little extra snark added in. Well, probably. Definitely. Whatever. If I end up using the same jokes if I end up adding in the same jokes, well, either I remember them or coincidence. But I just thought this would be really fun and funny to read through the whole thing. And, sorry, my nose. Hold on. Also, if you're wondering why I don't use the deep voice that Joseph Vargo used for Dr. Arcana, well, if I read the whole thing like that, I'd probably really hurt my throat. Do you guys really want me to do that? No? I didn't think so. I certainly don't. Now, before I do this, fun fact, I already attempted this. I got, more than halfway through the compendium, and I stopped for a while, and then I listened to what I had recorded, and, it seemed to me that the music was kind of drowning out my voice at times. Like, I guess I wasn't speaking loudly the whole time, but, I found that very annoying. So I decided I'd have to start over, even though my first attempt was about 42 minutes long, so that was about 42 minutes of wasted time. Joy. Also, that tells me that this is going to be a very long video, and I apologize in advance for it, but it's probably better to do all of this in one go. Well, in one video. It's not necessarily one go for me, but... Okay. Okay. Just turning that down a bit. And now, a full reading of the Cheater's Compendium. Better adjust this too. For those clueless contestants who find themselves so hopelessly lost that they must resort to cheating to resolve the mysteries of my mansion, I hereby bequeath this compendium to guide you through every step of my challenge. Since it seems that you have arrived unarmed for our battle of wits, I shall be thorough and precise, so as not to confuse your meager mortal mind. I like that phrase, meager mortal mind. Oh, I should use it more often. I think I will. The mansion grounds. Front gate. Seriously? Your adventure has barely begun and you're already stuck? Very well, I shall endeavor to enlighten you to the obvious. The gates are too high to climb, so you'll have to deduce another way to get past this barrier. Examine the inscription on the gatepost. It's your first challenge, but you'll need something to activate the puzzle. Here's a riddle for you. What's round and shiny and is the only thing you're carrying in your inventory? The amulet! Yes, that's it! Very good. There may be a glimmer of hope for you yet. Use the amulet from your inventory to activate the puzzle. Now then, rotate the discs to make the plaque design match the letters on your amulet. You may need to consult your journal to reference the amulet diagram. There you go. Once the puzzle has been solved, abracadabra! The gate is now open. You may proceed to the mansion if you choose. However, you may want to rethink venturing any further. Things don't get any easier. I feel like you're going to give me a very large headache when this is over. Front door. A storm is brewing, but the mansion lies just ahead. Don't be deterred by the fearsome sentinels that stand guard on either side of the entrance. If you examine the front door, you'll discover another puzzle that requires something from you. What do you suppose you should use here? Considering the fact that you're only carrying one item, you may want to give it a try. Voila! The amulet from your inventory activates the puzzle. Are you beginning to see a pattern here? Now simply solve the Egyptian eye puzzle by sliding the left eye tokens to the left spaces and the right eye tokens to the right spaces. Here's a hint. Move all of the tokens one by one in a clockwise direction around the circle. Solving the puzzle will unlock the front door. You may now enter the mansion, if you dare. The main floor. Entrance hall. Inside the entrance hall, you will be greeted by a devilishly charismatic apparition who will explain the rules of this challenge. If you are brave enough to accept, you will find yourself sealed inside my mansion. Let's have a look around, shall we? Examine the gate at the top of the staircase. It's locked, just like every other gate and door in this mansion. At this point, you may be beginning to wish you hadn't accepted this challenge. Unfortunately, it's too late for regrets now. The gate plaque is missing the central piece. You don't have the missing piece yet, but if you find something that looks like it might fit here, by all means, come back here to give it a try. Return to the entrance hall and examine the golden door beneath the balcony. Upon closer inspection, you will discover a puzzle plaque on this door. If you try using the amulet to activate the puzzle, you'll see that something is still missing. You cannot do anything here yet, but don't panic. If you're lucky, you may stumble upon something to help you with this later. Examine the shields beside the door. The Temujin design will be added to your journal. Try not to forget this. You're going to be needing it soon. East Hall. Exit the hall by going right and you'll find yourself in the East Hall. Do you see that statue at the end of the hallway? Take a closer look at it. Don't be afraid. It won't bite, I promise. No, the bitey statues are on another floor entirely. Next, take the green gem from the statue's hand. It will be added to your inventory of useful items. There's no harm in examining the door in the hall. It's just a puzzle door with no locks or handles. You'll have to muster your wits to get past this barrier, but not just yet. Parlor door. Still stuck. I'm having some serious doubts about your deductive abilities. Return to the entrance hall and exit to the left to enter the west hallway. Examine the puzzle door. This is going to require some brain power, as well as a certain magical artifact. Since you only have 2 items in your inventory, you have 2 chances to guess which one might help you here. If you're having trouble deciding between them, here's a clue for you. Use the item that matches the color of the puzzle plaque. What do you mean you're colorblind? Well, that's a rather big problem for you, isn't it? And, oh, that's a very big problem for me, too. I hadn't accounted for this. What am I going to do? I don't know. Oh, this is very bad. What can I do? What can I do? Well, I guess I have nothing else to do but keep, going through the compendium and helping you. Whatever. Anyway, yes. Once the puzzle has been activated, you'll need to rearrange the pieces to form a specific design. If you need a clue here, I suggest you consult your journal before your meager mortal mind, I do love alliteration, begins to melt. Swap and rotate the puzzle pieces to match the Temujin design in your journal. The door is still sealed shut, but now you've activated the second part of the puzzle. Examine the cryptex below the puzzle. You will notice that it requires a 7-letter word, if you can count that high. If you need a clue with this, you're really not trying. What was the name of the symbol you just formed in the puzzle? Here's a hint. It begins with a T and ends with Emogen! Once the correct word is entered, the door vanishes, revealing a glowing portal shrouded in mist. Don't be afraid to enter the doorway. What's the worst that could happen? Well, you could be attacked by monsters, there's that. Parlor. Welcome to my parlor, said the spider to the fly. So you've stumbled into your first room, eh? Don't get too excited. Your luck can't last forever. Well, let's take a look around. There's something shiny on one of the bookshelves. If you take a closer look, you'll discover a purple gem. You may also want to admire the painting above the fireplace. The lovely Aurora offers more than just a pretty face. Take a moment to gather your wits, then examine the puzzle cabinet. Attempt to solve the octagon puzzle by swapping the outer pieces and rotating the central piece to make all the gold paths align. If you insist on cheating, I have provided an image of the solution, though I am very disappointed in you. Solving the puzzle will unlock the cabinet and reveal a very special reward. Congratulations on finding your first skeleton key. Don't get too excited, you still have a dozen more to go. If you examine the puzzle door at the back of the room, you will discover that you cannot do anything here yet. Try to hold that thought in your meager memory. You will need to come back here later. Dining room door. Upon leaving the parlor, try not to get lost as you cross the entrance hall back to the east hallway. Examine the puzzle door with the purple design. Have you already forgotten what you're supposed to do here? This does not bode well for your success. You'll need to use something purple to activate the puzzle. Didn't you just pick up a purple gem in the parlor? Do you suppose that might be what you need here? If your answer to both of these questions is yes, congratulations, you're beginning to get the hang of using your head for something more than just a hat rack. Solve the puzzle by swapping and rotating the puzzle pieces to match the Aurora design in your journal. Click the cryptext below the puzzle and enter the 6-letter name of the symbol you just assembled. Here's a clue. It's A-R-O-R-U-A, spelled backwards. If you can resolve this mind bender, you will gain access to the dining room. Bon appetit. Dining room. At some point, you might want to try figuring things out on your own instead of constantly seeking my gracious guidance. But since you are confounded once again, you are such a fool, I shall endeavor to enlighten your minuscule mortal mind. First, let's not overlook the obvious. Examine the large table in the center of the room. There are two things here that may be of interest, the aqua gem and a note. The next part is tricky. Take the gem and read the note. Don't skim over it. Actually read it. No, stop speed reading. Stop it. You may learn something important about the Arcanum. Notes are written so that you may glean wisdom from the information they hold. Now, take a closer look at the shield above the fireplace. Don't stare at Medusa too long. Her gaze is said to be petrifying. Did you just add something to your journal? Good for you! Now you're ready to take a crack at the puzzle cabinet on the wall. It appears to be a maze of golden arrows. Select the correct path through the entire maze without backtracking. In the likely event that this conundrum may prove too difficult for your mortal mind, not a meager mortal mind, I have hereby provided the following solution. See? There. If and when the puzzle is solved, and that's a big if, considering you will discover another key item that will aid you in your mission. On your mission, sorry. Finally, examine the puzzle door at the back of the room. Something seems to be missing from the center of the red color design. Perhaps the aqua gem will work here? No? Then I suggest you return here after finding something more fitting. Gallery door. Lost? Don't fret, I am ever present to offer my astute assistance. Return to the puzzle door inside the parlor. Do I really need to tell you to place the aqua gem in the door puzzle? Very well. Place the aqua gem in the door puzzle. I'm having a headache right now. I thought it would only be at the end of this, but no, I already have a headache. Attempt to solve the puzzle by swapping and rotating the puzzle pieces to match the Medusa design in your journal. Examine the cryptext below the puzzle, and try entering every 6-letter word you can think of. It may take some time, but one of them should eventually work. Did you deduce that the correct solution was Medusa? Good thinking, Sherlock. Now enter the glowing doorway to the gallery. Before I bust a blood vessel. Gallery. Now that you have found your way into my ghoulish gallery, take some time to admire the artwork on display. Gaze in awe and wonder upon the living nightmares and creatures of forgotten lore. You may find some of them to be quite enchanting. Though, personally, it's not as good as Rod Serling's Night Gallery. I try and try, but I could never assemble an art gallery of the same level of scope or quality. I envy that man. No, where was I? Ah, yes. The Sorceress of Vervain holds a secret for you. Be sure to take note of this discovery in your journal. Very good. It was almost as if you knew what you were doing. But that can't be. You're you. If you take a closer look at the framed notes on the back wall, you will learn about the legendary Theater of Illusion. I rather liked that album. Now examine the bust of Apollo. My, that's an interesting looking brooch on his toga. Aren't you looking for a red gem? Well, what are you waiting for? Snatch it up! Did you notice the symbols on the wall? They may seem meaningless to you, but perhaps you should try to remember them, just in case. They'll lead to some bonus secrets that really don't seem all that useful. Oh well. The only thing left is the ornate puzzle cabinet on the back wall. Attempt to solve this puzzle by sliding the top piece on to the bottom. Since it seems highly unlikely that your inferior intellect will be able to solve this confounding conundrum, I have graciously provided a step-by-step solution to the puzzle. You're welcome. And there are the steps, which I'm not going to read because that would be a bit too ridiculous. Once the puzzle is solved, claim your prize. If you have been thorough in your quest, you should now possess 3 skeleton keys. If you don't, well, you obviously overlooked something very important and you should go find it right now before I continue with anything else. Go! Go! Go find it. Theater door. If you insist on subjecting yourself to further humiliation, return to the puzzle door inside the dining room. Activate the door puzzle with the appropriate... Blech. Tongue-tied. Activate the door puzzle with the appropriately colored gem. In this case, the color of blood. Solve the puzzle by swapping and rotating the pieces to match the Vervain design in your journal. Once you've muddled your way through the door puzzle, examine the cryptext below and enter the 7-letter solution. Here's a hint. It begins with Ver and ends with Ain, with a V in the middle. Once the correct word is entered, the door vanishes, revealing the next mist-shrouded portal. Take the next step and enter the theater. Theater. Welcome to the Grand Theater of Illusion. Oh yes, this is where the magic happens. Where I, Doctor Arcana, perform on stage. The great and powerful Arcana. What do you mean that phrase is trademarked? What? I'll deal with that later. Take some time to admire the playbills on the wall. You may actually learn a few things if you pay attention. Now then, take a look at the small table on the stage and examine the card beside the puzzle box. Most mortal minds will be confused, but a clever few will be amused. Sad but true. I get the feeling that you are not one of the people that would be amused. No, I was not amused. Next, examine the puzzle box displaying 3 playing card designs. You're going to need a clue before trying to open this, and it's increasingly obvious that you really don't have a clue. Of course, I could simply reveal the solution now, but that would spoil the fun of watching you struggle with my riddle later. I do love seeing you struggle and suffer. You cannot do anything here yet. Be gone! Be gone, I say! No, seriously, get out of here. Now, if I may direct your attention to the center stage, you will discover the Devil's Triangle puzzle cabinet. Attempt to solve this diabolical puzzle by swapping and rotating the pieces to align all the colored sides correctly. Since I cannot fathom how you might resolve this perplexing puzzle without cheating, I have provided the following solution. See? If you somehow manage to resolve this devilish puzzle, you will receive a double reward, a skeleton key, and a septagram amulet. Don't be too distracted by your shiny new toys. They'll be useful to you later, if you survive that long. Library door. You certainly are a glutton for punishment, aren't you? Very well, since you don't seem to know when to quit, return to the entrance hall and examine the golden door behind the stairway. It's time to tackle that pesky puzzle black. 2 items are required to activate this puzzle. You should have both of them in your possession, unless you've missed something obvious, which is very likely. I hope I haven't given you the false impression that I have little faith in your abilities. The truth is that I have none whatsoever. After using the Arcanum Amulet and the Septagram Amulet to activate the puzzle, attempt to solve the library door puzzle by pressing all of the letters to spell a continuous phrase. Consult your journal for a rhyming clue. Must I really spell out every step for you? As the saying goes, most mortal minds will be confused, but a clever few will be amused. I'm mostly amused at your suffering. And also annoyed. Annoyed and amused at the same time in a rather odd mixture. Goes back and forth. Whatever. Library. So, you finally found your way into my library of magical manuscripts. I'd congratulate you if you hadn't taken so long. There are several things that should spark your curiosity here. First, take a look at the lovely goddess statue on the left. If you look closely, you'll discover she's holding 2 things that will be useful to you later. A blue gem and a list of magic words. Abracadabra! They're now in your inventory! Next, look at the mansion floor plans on the desk. This magical map of the manor shows which sigil doors you have opened and reveals the rooms in which skeleton keys have been found. It will also magically transport you to the rooms that you've previously visited, in the likely event that you've forgotten your way. The very likely event. And it's not like I could let you take these blueprints out of the library. No, that would be too simple. You may also want to take the playing card clue on the desk. You never know when scraps of knowledge like this may be useful. Luckily for you, I do. Now, leave the desk and examine the book on the bookstand. Attempt to solve the runes book puzzle by sliding the runes tiles to their correct positions. This couldn't be more simple since the solution is etched into the puzzle board. Even so, this may be a difficult concept for your meager mortal mind to grasp. If you do somehow manage to open the book, you will discover 12 magical symbols and their names. A wise person would add this information to their journal, and so should you. Although a foolish person, which I suspect you are, would probably do something like, oh, I don't know, try to eat the book. Please don't eat the book. Stop eating the book! Next, examine the puzzle cabinet in the bookcase behind the bookstand. It seems unlikely that you could resolve this puzzle by pressing random buttons, but feel free to waste as much time as you'd like here. Are you ready for a hint? A list of magical words would be useful here, and, as I recall, the goddess statue was holding one. Place the list beside the puzzle, then consult your journal to find the symbols that correspond with the magical words on the list. Now you're getting somewhere. Even someone of your inferior intellect should be able to figure out what to do next. But if you insist on cheating, here is the solution, along with my great disappointment. If you somehow manage to press the three correct buttons in the proper order, the cabinet will open, revealing an ancient scroll. It's not there for decoration, so go ahead and take it. You never know when you may need to decode a mystical alphabet. Before you leave the library, you may want to take a look at the old grandfather clock. If you can tell time, and I highly doubt you can, given your intelligence level, You will see that the clock's hands have stopped just before midnight. You may also notice the numbers are buttons that can be pushed. It seems as though you're going to need a clue before you can do anything here. Of course, I could simply tell you how to solve this puzzle now, but you really wouldn't learn anything from the experience, would you? Since there's nothing more to do here now, try to find your way back to the theater without getting lost.
Theater. Your brain must be aching by now. Return to the table on the stage and examine the playing card puzzle box. Didn't you just pick up a clue about playing cards from the desk in the library? Perhaps it will be helpful here. Egads! It's a riddle requiring thinking! We both know this isn't your strong suit. Maybe you could just try entering random card combinations while keeping your fingers crossed. There's only 140,608 possibilities, so you may stumble upon the correct solution in a few days. Or, given your intelligence level, perhaps a few months. If you really must cheat, here's an abbreviated clue. QS7DAH. And a picture. If you play your cards right, you will discover the Celtic talisman. Go ahead and take it. Nobody's watching but me, and I am still very disappointed in you. Now run along to the entrance hall and examine the gate at the top of the stairs. The second floor. Second floor hall. No, the gate did not magically open. It's still sealed shut, but you may have something that you can use to unlock it. Perhaps something from your inventory will work here. Here's a simple equation that may help you. Brains plus the Celtic talisman minus brains. Have you figured it out yet? Well done, Sherlock. The gate should now be open. Your ingenuity will be rewarded by another appearance from the handsome apparition. Yes, very handsome. Devilishly so, if I do say so myself. And I do. Take a moment to catch your breath, then proceed down the west hall. Examine the paintings that adorn the cobwebbed corridor. Pandora has unleashed something from her box of secrets that you may find useful. Making a note of this is a wise move, which means you probably won't do it. Now return the way you came, then proceed down the opposite hall and around the corner to the east wing. Examine the puzzle door with the blue design. Can you guess what comes next? No? Well, I'm not really surprised. Guest bedroom door. Stuck again? Guiding you every step is becoming quite tiresome, even for a relentlessly restless spirit such as myself. Even though I'm not technically a spirit. But whatever. Let's examine the situation, shall we? You're standing in front of a puzzle door that requires something blue, and you're holding a blue gem. Must I really connect these dots for you? If you manage to activate the puzzle, try to solve it by swapping and rotating the puzzle pieces to match the Pandora design. Now examine the cryptex below the puzzle. What's this? The letters are written in a magical language. This may appear to be an insurmountable obstacle for someone of your limited brain power. Fortunately for you, I am here to lend my eloquent expertise. If only you were in possession of some sort of mystic alphabet scroll, then you could use it here to decipher the letters and enter the name Pandora. In the likely event that you are still lost, I have provided a cheat sheet for you. Eureka! You managed to activate the door portal. There may be some hope for you after all. When you're done patting yourself on the back, enter the glowing doorway to the guest bedroom. Guest bedroom. You found your way into the guest bedroom, but this is no time to rest. Since you seem to be continually clueless, I shall endeavor to grant you the benefit of my otherworldly wisdom. Take a look overhead and examine the plaque above the bed. The Zoltan design is a noteworthy discovery, which means make a note of it. Next, examine the nightstand. Ah, that's the ticket. Feel free to rummage through the nightstand drawers. You giant snoop. If you come across an orange gem, you may want to take it. Go ahead, you'll need all the help you can get. Now examine the scroll on the fireplace mantle to learn more secrets of the Arcanum. Finally, put on your thinking cap and try to solve the puzzle cabinet in the corner by sliding the tiles to assemble the dragons correctly. Since I have very little faith in your puzzle-solving prowess, I have provided a guide to help you cheat your way past this confounding conundrum. There are all the steps. Personally, I'm glad I didn't have... I would hate to have to go through this step by step. That would take forever. I mean, it still took a long time. I'm getting out of character. That's terrible. Here's the picture, and here are the many, many abbreviated steps. Are we done here? Good. Now I can move on to the rest of the guide. Compendium. Whatever. Back in character. Fully in character. If you should somehow blindly stumble upon the solution to this puzzle, the cabinet will open, revealing a reward. Your keyring should be one skeleton heavier. Now leave the room and head back down the hall to seek the puzzle door with the orange design. Game room door. Do you really need me to tell you what to do here? Really? Very well, I shall attempt to illuminate the shadows of your mind. Since you're facing a puzzle door with an orange design, you may want to use the orange gem from your inventory here. Once the puzzle's activated, swap and rotate the puzzle pieces to match the Zoltan design. Now examine the cryptext below the puzzle. Once again, the letters are written in a magical language. Have you already forgotten how you resolved the last coded cryptext? As I recall, it had something to do with using the mystic alphabet scroll you're carrying. You didn't lose it, did you? I hope not. Decode the letters to enter the name of the sigil in the door puzzle. In case your brain can't handle the strain of deciphering 6 letters, here's the solution. Voila! You managed to activate the door portal! And who said you were doomed to fail? Oh, yes, that was me. Don't let that discourage you. You'll have plenty of other chances to prove me right. Now quit dilly-dallying and enter the glowing doorway to the game room. Game room. Have you no shame? Do you ever tire of begging for my help? There, quit your groveling. I am here to assist you as you fumble through the many mysteries of my mansion. My game room holds a plenitude of peculiar playthings. Oh, I love alliteration. If you examine the suit of armor, you'll discover that, unlike most mortals, this noble knight actually holds something of value inside his head. And when I say most mortals, that also includes you. Don't be afraid. He won't bite. Take the green gem. Next, read the note on the shelf to discover one of the Arcanum's darkest secrets. Are you cold, or did reading this message send shivers down your spine? Now take a moment to admire the portrait of Morpheus on the left shelf. The ancient Lord of Dreams guards a noteworthy symbol. Try not to forget you added it to your journal. Now, let's address the puzzle cabinet in the center of the room. This one will have you scampering around like a rat in a maze. How fitting. Attempt to solve the Mayan maze cabinet puzzle by maneuvering through all the chambers without backtracking. If you admit that you are no match for my perplexing puzzle, I will reveal the solution. If and when the puzzle is solved, a secret compartment in the cabin will open to reveal your prize. You're nearly halfway finished with your skeleton key quest. Don't celebrate yet. I've saved some of my most perplexing puzzles for last. Before you flee the game room, take a peek at the box on the right shelf. 4 juggling demons adorn the lid of this puzzle box. It appears you'll need to find a clue before trying to open this devilish device. You cannot do anything here yet. Of course, I could simply reveal the solution now, but what fun would that be? There's nothing more to do here now. Leave the game room and return down the hallway to the puzzle door with the green design. Master bedroom. How many of these doors have you opened so far? And you still don't know what to do? Would you take it as an insult to your intelligence if I had to tell you to place the green gem in the door? I didn't think so. Truly, you must have the memory of a goldfish. Now attempt to resolve the door puzzle by swapping and rotating the puzzle pieces to match the Morpheus design. Once the puzzle is solved, examine the door cryptex. Unless you have a knowledge of mystical alphabets, you're going to need a clue here. Have you already forgotten about the scroll you're carrying? Now get cracking and decipher the cryptex symbols to enter the 8-letter name of the Lord of Dreams. If you are struggling with this simple cipher, I offer the following solution, as well as my deepest sympathies for your lack of ingenuity. If you can manage to unlock the door portal, step forth and enter the master bedroom. Master bedroom. Somehow, your blind luck has led you to the master bedroom, or this compendium, either or. Don't get too comfortable. There are several things to investigate here. Starting with the trio of skulls above the mantel. Take a closer look at my macabre mementos. If you're clever enough to activate all of the eye gems in the correct sequence, the eyes will remain lit, and the central skull will cough up a reward. It's very gross. If you can't deduce the right sequence after several boneheaded attempts, see what I did there, you can always resort to cheating by using my solution. You bonehead. And there's the solution. Snatch the purple gem from the jaws of death. Now examine the tapestry and take note of the Baphomet design. When you're finished doodling in your journal, pick up the note from the book. Gadzooks! You've discovered more magic words! Lux Sinestra, Rota Tempus, Vita Aeternum! Don't worry if your baffled brain can't comprehend their magical meaning. I'd be astounded if you actually figured something out on your own. Now that you've had your fun snooping through my personal belongings, which I am very annoyed about, you are a terrible person. Examine the puzzle cabinet. If you insist on torturing yourself, try to navigate this maze of misdirection by selecting the correct path through the labyrinth, following the arrows and alternating between light and dark tiles. Since it's highly unlikely that you might be lucky enough to resolve this puzzle without cheating, I hereby provide the following pointers. Hey, I actually got most of the way through that puzzle. I just screwed up on the last few steps and got confused. Anyway, there's the solution. Solving this puzzle will earn you another skeleton for your collection. Lucky number 7. Good for you. You'll need all the luck you can get from here on. Now try to find your way back to the library without getting lost. Although I seriously think you will. Mostly because I didn't give you the map to carry around. Oh, I love making you suffer. Return to library. Lost again? Very well, I shall endeavor to enlighten your meager mortal mind once more. Return to the puzzle cabinet in the bookcase behind the bookstand to try out your new list of magical words. Place the list beside the puzzle, then consult your journal to find the symbols that correspond with the words on the list. Are you getting a feeling of déjà vu? In case this puzzle is beyond your cranial capacity, I have provided the simple solution. 1, 2, 3. That's it. You are so sad. If you somehow manage to press the buttons in the proper order, the middle shelf of the cabinet will open, revealing another mystical alphabet scroll. Don't stand there gawking. Grab the scroll before the cabinet closes. Now take your shoes for a walk and return to the second floor to seek the puzzle door with the purple design. Museum door. Must I help you with every single challenge? Activating puzzle doors should be second nature to you by now. You really haven't been paying attention, have you? I'll write this very slowly for you. Place the purple gem in the door design, you mindless mortal! Now attempt to solve the puzzle door by swapping and rotating the pieces to match the Baphomet design. Do that while I go take something for this pounding migraine you have now instilled in me. Ugh! I haven't felt a migraine like this in decades. I didn't even think it was possible for me to have a migraine this severe, but somehow you've made it possible. Congratulations. If you examine the cryptex below the puzzle, you'll discover more confusing symbols to baffle your brain. Never fear, you're carrying a pair of scrolls that allow you to decode ancient alphabets. Use them here to enter the 8-letter name of the sigil you just pieced together. Since you seem to be completely confounded by this daunting dilemma, I have supplied the following solution for you. See. And now the door portal is open, take the next step and enter the museum. Museum. Stuck again. Where would you be without me? Safe at home, you say? What fun would that be? Take some time to admire the displays in my museum of magical and macabre mementos. Also try saying that 10 times fast without biting your own tongue. Examine the painting of Azrael, the Angel of Death, and be sure to take note of the sigil design. Next, take a closer look at the skull of Necros, and pry the red gem from the skull's forehead. Took a great deal of glue to make that stick, you know. Now examine the Hand of Glory on the pedestal to discover the clue it holds. You're finally beginning to grasp the obvious. In the midst of my treasured displays, you will discover an ornate puzzle cabinet. Prepare for failure, then attempt to solve the Celtic Serpent puzzle by rearranging the tiles to complete the slithering serpent, connecting its hideous heads to one another. When you concede that you cannot solve this perplexing puzzle on your own, feel free to consult the solution I have provided. If you somehow manage to solve this puzzle, you will be rewarded with an 8th skeleton for your keyring. Before you flee the museum, examine the pentagram plaque on the wall. Something seems to be missing here. Try what you will, but you cannot do anything here yet. When you're finally done wasting time, run along and return to the game room. Game room. Again. As I recall, the last time you were here, you were perplexed by the Juggling Devil's puzzle box on the shelf. Perhaps you should try your Juggling Devil clue here. Do you suppose the words around the border could help you resolve this? In the likely event that you remain clueless and must resort to cheating, I provided the solution. If you somehow manage to open the puzzle box, you will discover the Devil Talisman inside. Don't be afraid. Take the sinister star and scurry back to the museum. Return to museum. You seem to be running in circles. Now that you've found your way back to the museum, return to the pentagram plaque on the wall. It appears to be missing a star-shaped object. Do you have anything in your possession that might fit here? Perhaps a certain devilish talisman? If you deduce the correct item to use here, you will open a secret door in the museum wall. Venture forth into the shadowy passageway, unless you're afraid of the dark. Secret door. Now that you've bungled your way into the secret passage, take a few moments to examine the playbills on the walls. You may glean some wisdom about the realm of illusion. Take a closer look at the Carnival of Lost Souls poster, and remember the symbols at the bottom of the playbill. You may never know when you might need them. Also, you can examine the other playbill about those, rather unfortunate group. Those copycats. Now proceed to the puzzle door with the red design. Do you recall how all the other puzzle doors needed colored gems to activate them? If you're still perplexed, stop to ask yourself a few questions. Are you carrying a colored gem? Is it red by any chance? Perhaps you should try using it here. No matter how far I lower my expectations, you continually manage to fall short of them. It's really impressive, actually. It really is. Once you have finally activated the dual puzzle, attempt to solve it by swapping and rotating the puzzle pieces to match the Azrael design in your journal. If you manage to resolve the puzzle, examine the door cryptex. Once again, the letters are written in a mystical language, beyond the scope of your meager mortal comprehension. Don't panic. Use your mystic alphabet scrolls to enter the name of the Angel of Death. In the likely event that this task proves to be too difficult for your befuddled brain, I hereby provide the following solution. There it is. Now that the door is open, proceed through the portal to enter the secret room. If you dare. If you don't dare, this game is going to be cut off early, and that's extra disappointing. Secret room. So you've stumbled upon my secret treasury of arcane artifacts, have you? Welcome to the shadows of my mind. It's full of spiders. I hope you're not too frightened. My darkest secrets have yet to be discovered. Begin by examining the sundial on the upper left shelf and taking the aqua gem. Next, take a closer look at the Egyptian artwork of Osiris, Lord of the Underworld. Try not to forget that you added this information to your journal. Now examine the Hand of Fate chart in the corner and be sure to make a note of that as well. When you've finished doodling in your journal, take a look at the book on the stand. Don't worry about straining your brain. Reading books can be enlightening. You may learn a thing or two about the mystical portal doors. Unless you're illiterate. And if that's the case, well, you have my deep sympathies, because that is a very, very big problem. In fact, if you're illiterate, then how are you reading this? Now let's take a look at the table, shall we? There are several things of interest here, but let's focus on the silver box. No, not that box from Tomb Raider. No, no, no. Different silver box. If you muster your courage and take a peek inside, you'll discover a clue with more magic words. That was painless, but you're not done in this room yet. Examine the cabinet in the wall to discover another of my delightfully diabolical puzzles. Take a deep breath, then attempt to solve the elemental puzzle by finding 4 paths that do not touch or cross between the matching symbols. Though this puzzle is child's play for my masterful mind, you will most likely need to cheat to get past it. I have hereby provided the solution. If you somehow manage to connect the dots, you will be granted a reward. Add a 9th skeleton to your keyring. Now be gone from this place and return to the puzzle door with the aqua design. Be gone, I say! Door to attic. Resorting to begging for help once again? Very well, I shall answer your pitiful pleas. Let's review the facts. You're facing a puzzle door with an aqua design, and you're completely clueless, as usual. First, you'll need to use something from your inventory. Look for something aqua that rhymes with them and begins with the letter G. Once you've activated the puzzle, try to resolve it by swapping and rotating the puzzle pieces to match the Osiris design in your journal. Wake me when you finally solve it. What took you so long? If you examine the cryptex below the puzzle, you'll discover more strange symbols that are sure to confound your mortal mind. As I recall, you're carrying a pair of scrolls that allow you to decode unknown alphabets. Use them here to enter the 6-letter name of the Egyptian Lord of the Underworld. No, not Anubis! You really need to learn more about Egyptian mythology, and also read your journal. Since my faith in your puzzle-solving skills is next to nothing, I have supplied the following solution for you. There. Eureka! You managed to activate the door portal! There may be some hope for you after all, though I highly doubt it. When you're done basking in the glory of your minor achievement, enter the glowing doorway to the attic. The very dusty attic. I hope you're not asthmatic, otherwise that might be a problem. Well, you'd think that'd be a problem for the entire mansion if no one's been living there for so long? Whatever. To the upper levels. The attic. Congratulations on fumbling, bumbling, and stumbling your way into the attic. Take some time to admire my collection of ancient artifacts from the lands of the pharaohs. If you examine the goddess statue, you may discover an orange gem hidden in plain sight. Now take a closer look at the spellbinding painting of Mephisto, and be sure to make note of the sigil design. Very good, mortal. It was almost as if you knew what you were doing. Did you notice the note peeking out of the urn on the floor? Did it occur to you that this might be an important clue? Persistence is the key. It would be wise to remember this sage advice. It might get you past future obstacles. Hint, hint. Let's move along, shall we? Take a closer look at the Egyptian gods papyrus on the far wall and make a note of your discovery. Well, if anything else, at least you have good sketching skills, which you would need to make all these notes and drawings in your journal. So at least you've got that to fall back on. When you've finished doodling in your journal, examine the scroll on the table and the poster on the wall to learn about my most illustrious illusion, the Sarcophagus of Doom! Are you awestruck by my magnificence? You should be. I am an excellent magician. And if you're not awestruck, well, you're a terrible audience with poor taste now, aren't you? Yes, you are. Now then, let's take a look at the Egyptian puzzle cabinet, shall we? This diabolical dilemma is one of my favorites. If you insist on tormenting yourself, try to solve the scarab puzzle by pushing all 16 golden balls into the central hole. Since it seems highly unlikely that you could resolve this challenge without resorting to cheating, I've supplied the solution for you. I resolved it. It took a while. It was more tedious. I think it was more tedious than anything else. And yes, it was very tedious and very slow. See? Left side, right side. I am not going to read that out. That would be ridiculous. If you somehow manage to solve my perplexing puzzle, you will receive a well-earned reward. Your keyring should be getting heavier. Now run along and return to the library. Return to library. Again. Lost again? Very well. I shall endeavor to enlighten your meager mortal mind once more. Return to the puzzle cabinet in the bookcase behind the bookstand to try out your new list of magic words. Place the list beside the puzzle, then consult your journal to find the symbols that correspond with the words on the list. Are you getting a feeling of déjà vu? Didn't I say that last time? Now I'm getting a feeling of déjà vu. In the event that this puzzle is beyond the scant scope of your understanding, I have provided the simple solution. Pressing the correct buttons will open the bottom shelf of the puzzle cabinet to reveal the third and final mystic alphabet scroll. Yes, I'm throwing in a triple cipher now. I'm going to make this very hard for you. This may appear useless to you, but you may as well take it with you. You've been wrong before. Many, many times. When you're done reflecting upon your past failures, the great multitude of them, return to the second floor and examine the golden puzzle gate in the west wing. Yes, the west wing. I know the beast said it was forbidden, but, well, we'll venture in anyway. Just don't touch the rose under glass, will you? If you do, the beast will come charging in, and he always makes such a mess of my house. Ugh. You wouldn't believe how much damage there was the last time. West Wing, Golden Gate. Examine the door plaque. Upon close inspection, you may notice that the plaque consists of 8 letter tiles. Since you seem to be clueless as to what to do here, try searching your inventory for something that might help. Perhaps you could try that scrap of paper with a design matching the puzzle's central tile. Ah, that's much better. Now the letter tiles can be pressed like buttons. How that works? Well, a magician never reveals their secrets. But it involves computer coding. Now you only need to deduce the correct combination. Must I spell everything out for you? Try entering I is best. It may not solve the puzzle, but it's nice to hear you admit it. Perhaps the answer is inner secret, or possibly rest in pieces. No? How about stress test, pinstripes, resist sin, step in it, or 10 nice sentences? Keep trying random word combinations and phrases until you stumble upon the solution. Don't give up. After all, persistence is the key. Hint, hint. Do I need to literally hit you with it in the face? Do I need to come up there and punch you? Yes? Well, give me a bit. It'll take a while to get out of here. Oh, wait. I can't get out of here. Well, I will still punch you in the nose when you finally do get me out of here. How about that? Good. If you finally manage to figure it out, the gate will open to reveal the West Tower staircase. Enter the stairwell and ascend to the elevated rank of Persistent Puzzle Solver. West Tower door. The tower stairs end abruptly at a puzzle door with an orange design. You've already bungled your way past 9 similar doors, but it's no surprise that you remain clueless as to what to do here. Every previous door required a gem that matched the color of the puzzle. I suggest trying every gem you have. The fact that you're only carrying 1 should limit your choices considerably. If you somehow find a way to activate the puzzle, attempt to solve it by swapping and rotating the puzzle pieces to match the Mephisto design in your journal. Once the puzzle has been solved, examine the door cryptex. Perhaps your mystic alphabet scrolls will help you to enter the correct 8-letter solution. Here's a hint. It ends with Fisto and begins with me. If you're still stumped, I am provided the solution. If you manage to open the portal door, take the next step and enter the Wizard's Tower. Wizard's Tower. So you've somehow bungled your way into my chamber of conjuration, eh? Your curiosity is equaled only by your blind luck. This room holds some of my darkest secrets, which you shall soon discover. Don't bother gazing into my mystic cauldron, unless you want to see a bleak vision of a future filled with disappointment and failure. The former is all mine, and the latter is all yours. I never fail. Although, to be honest, I am starting to regret bringing you into this mansion for this challenge. Do you have any other family members that might have been available to get the amulet instead? Perhaps there was a mix-up in the delivery process. Well, something to think about for later. A close inspection of the far right bookshelf will reveal a shiny blue gem. Does its dazzling brilliance remind you of anyone? How flattering. Now take a look at the tapestry in the corner. The Daedalus sigil is a noteworthy discovery. There are numerous things of intellectual interest in this room. It's a shame that most of them are beyond your simple scope of comprehension. Did you notice that large open book? Don't let it intimidate you. Reading can be enlightening, especially for someone who always seems to be in the dark. You may even learn a secret about the amulet you carry. If you peruse the curios on the shelf above the book, you'll discover a clue that will give you some pertinent pointers. Now take a closer look at the gargoyles puzzle cabinet in the wall, where 15 fiendish faces peer out from the shadows. Attempt to solve this monstrous mind-bender by correctly arranging the gargoyle heads according to the clues. Once you admit defeat, you can either retreat or cheat by consulting the solution I have graciously provided. Hello, my gargoyles. Did you miss me? Oh, don't worry, I'll feed you. In fact, your dinner has just arrived. If and when the puzzle is solved, a secret compartment will open, revealing a hidden skeleton. Or skeleton key, actually. Claim your prize and add another key to your collection. Before leaving the tower, examine the box on the shelf. Egads! It's another perplexing puzzle box! 9 skulls await your direction. Don't bother making any boneheaded guesses. You'll need to find a clue before trying to solve this. Since you are undoubtedly clueless, leave the wizard tower and scamper down to the golden puzzle gate in the east wing. Run along now. East wing, golden gate. A close inspection of the gate will reveal a puzzle plaque consisting of numerous unknown symbols. Since it seems unlikely that your meager mortal mind might comprehend these ancient directional guides, you're going to need a clue before trying to solve this. As I recall, you found a scrap of parchment that had similar symbols on it. Do you think it might possibly be a clue for this puzzle? Bravo, Sherlock! Now that you can decipher the directions, the symbols can be selected and activated. Consult your clue to find the correct path through the maze of symbols, following the directions of each pointer. If your brain can't handle the strain, you can consult my solution for your dilemma. I assume you'll be running in circles for some time, but if you finally manage to maneuver up to the top of the maze, the gate will open to reveal the East Tower staircase. Enter the stairwell and ascend to the next level of incompetence. East Tower door. Lost again? How can one person be so consistently clueless? You're facing a puzzle door with a blue design. Didn't you just find a blue gem in the wizard's tower? Is it possible for your brain to fathom that it might be of use here? If you somehow manage to activate the door puzzle, try to solve it by swapping and rotating the pieces to match the dataless design. After finally solving the puzzle, examine the door cryptex. Use the mystic alphabet to enter the 8-letter word that begins with DA, ends with US, and has ED and AL in the middle. Still confused? Don't lose your mind trying to resolve this one. You haven't much to spare. In the interest of hurrying you along towards your next intellectual obstacle, and more embarrassing failure, I have provided the following solution. Once the portal door is open, venture forth and enter the Astronomer's Tower. Astronomer's Tower. You've finally reached the harrowing heights of my mysterious mansion. Don't get too excited. Now that you've made it to the pinnacle of my challenge, there's nowhere to go but down. Since you seem to be completely confused and confounded once again, I shall endeavor to lend my gracious guidance. A close inspection of the astronomical device on the left will be rewarding. Go ahead and pluck the green gem from the center of the astrolabe. You should know by now that gems like these are quite useful. The large astronomical device in the center of the room holds an inscription that may help you elsewhere in this room. Now take a look through the telescope to see the Thanatos constellation. This is indeed a noteworthy discovery. Consulting the open book will lead you to a dark discovery about the Arcanum's apprentices. Are you beginning to piece this mystery together? If you examine the urn on the upper right shelf, you'll discover a burnt clue depicting a skull and some arrows. Next, take a look at the table and search around the world to discover a timely clue. Now that you're done snooping through my beloved belongings, take a closer look at the astronomical puzzle cabinet in the wall. Attempt to solve the puzzle by correctly arranging the tiles so the corresponding sides match, completing all adjoining creatures. The odds against you solving this cosmic conundrum are astronomical. I have therefore provided a stellar solution. If the stars align, you will be rewarded with a shiny new skeleton key. Now you have all but one. Gather your wits and return to the Wizard Tower as quickly as your feet will carry you. What? What do you mean I have a call from the International Astronomical Union? What do you mean they want to talk to me about my Thanatos and Griffin constellations? Yes, they're there. No such thing? Oh. Well, what do you want from me? I'm a wizard and a magician, not an astronomer. Anyway, Wizard's Tower. Examine the skull puzzle box once again. Consult your skull clue to get some pointers as to what to do here. The bottom of the clue has been burnt away, but the last few moves shouldn't be too difficult to figure out, even for someone of your limited intellect. There are only 9 possible combinations. In the likely event that your brain is baffled by this, I provided a cheater's chart for you to follow. So are we just supposed to brute force the last part? I guess. I don't really see I never really figured out the logic for the positions of the other ones. Whatever. If you manage to open the box, you will find a skull talisman inside. Don't be afraid. Grab the macabre memento and return to the library. Return to the library. Again. What is this, the 3rd, 4th time? 5th? I forget. Return to the grandfather clock in my library of shadows. You seem to be at a standstill once again. Perhaps the grandfather clue in your inventory can help you with this untimely dilemma. See what I did there? Must I diagram every little thing for you? Attempt to solve the clock puzzle by pressing the numbers in the correct sequence according to your clue. In case your brain is still boggled by this pressing matter, I have provided the solution for you. 6, 5, 2, 7, 1, 11, 8, 9. Once the clock strikes midnight, a secret shelf will open on the left bookcase, revealing the twin wheel puzzle. The puzzle seems to be missing a piece between the two central skulls. Do you have anything that you think might fit here? Some sort of talisman with a skull on it, perhaps? How clever of you! After activating the puzzle, attempt to solve it by aligning all of the symbol discs on their appropriate sides of the puzzle according to color and design. In the likely event this devious dilemma is beyond the scope of your comprehension, I provided a glimpse of the solution. But not the actual steps for how to get it. Oh, that would be too easy. If you somehow find a way to solve the twin wheel puzzle, the bookcase will slide open, revealing my secret elevator. Enter the elevator and take it down to the crypt, far below my mansion. What's the worst thing that could happen? Besides being buried alive? The crypt. Ritual chamber door. Welcome to the hidden depths of my dark domain. I'm astonished that you've made it this far. Don't celebrate yet. Your ordeal is far from over. Exit the elevator and take a moment to be bedazzled by the awe-inspiring apparition once again. Don't just stand there gawking. Shake off the cobwebs and get busy. No, literally, shake off the cobwebs. It's very dusty down here and there are so many spiders. Could you clean it for me, please? Thank you. I do love free labor. If you examine the door at the end of the corridor, you will discover a puzzle with a green design. Do you seriously need a hint here? Use something shiny and green to activate the puzzle, then swap and rotate the pieces to match the Thanatos design. The next step should be obvious, but in the event that your baffled brain is still stuck, examine the cryptex below the puzzle. Use all 3 mystic alphabet scrolls to decode the letters and enter the name of the ancient Lord of Death. Well, actually, he was more the personification of death, but who really cares? Since we both know that your feeble mind is no match for my confounding cryptex codes, I have provided the following solution. Once the portal door is open, enter the mystical passage to my ritual chamber. Don't be intimidated. It's far too late to turn back now. Besides, the front door is still locked. And all the windows. Unless you want to jump out the astronomer tower window. But I don't recommend it unless you want to break all of your bones. Ritual chamber. Ah, you've discovered my secret ritual chamber. No mortal has ever come this far before. I suppose you're expecting some sort of congratulations for stumbling and bumbling your way down here. Very well. You've done an adequate job. Now don't get emotional, you still have work to do. Stop crying, you fool. I said adequate. Only adequate. If you keep blubbering and crying like that, I will lower my praise. You're getting closer to the fiendish finish line, but the final obstacles might prove to be insurmountable. Your luck can't last forever, and you may have pushed your brittle brain past its lowly limits. If you bother to read the ancient tome on the left bookstand, you may discern the terrible truth about your misguided mission. Now take a closer look at the Book of Secrets beside my cauldron. The message is obvious to someone of my superior skills. However, you may have difficulty deciphering this mystical manuscript. If you examine the 13 skulls on the far wall, you will discover a macabre puzzle cabinet. A closer inspection will reveal letters engraved into each skull. It seems you can rearrange the death heads in an attempt to spell something out. Who knows what sinister secrets you might uncover by solving this? I do, of course, but they're my sinister secrets after all. Since it's unlikely that you could ascertain the answer without cheating, I hereby offer the solution. Yeah, I should have tried with that a little bit more. Star, then moon, preceded by triangle, after Egyptian eye. Solving this puzzle will unlock a secret compartment in the cabinet, revealing the final skeleton key. The fact that you've collected all 13 keys is absolutely astounding. Now you just need to find somewhere to use them. Examine the puzzle cabinet on the Golden Gate. Do any of these symbols seem familiar to you? Perhaps the star, moon, triangle, or eye? If you need a hint, revisit the Screaming Skull puzzle and commit the solution to memory. Now, return to the gate plaque and enter the correct symbols in the proper order. In case this is too confusing for your bewildered brain, I have thoughtfully provided the solution. Once the puzzle has been solved, the gate opens, granting passage to the trap chamber. If you return to this door, it allows you to revisit this puzzle. Curious. Perhaps there's more than one sinister secret hidden here. I'll never tell. After all, they're my sinister secrets. Although the remaining secrets really aren't that impressive, honestly. As I've said more than once, for Easter eggs, they're really not all that good. I don't see the point of them. Yes, criticize the game all you want. You've said that 1,000 times by now. Well, actually, probably less than 20. Whatever. Trap chamber. Why didn't the chicken cross the room? That's not a riddle. I'm simply curious. What are you waiting for? Don't tell me you're going to let a little thing like a diabolical death trap stop you. Must I guide your every step? Apparently I must. Very well, let's begin by examining the plaques on the walls. The left plaque reads, "Tread wisely." That's sound advice, but it's also a clue to get you started on your perilous path. Unfortunately for you, the rest of the letters have been worn away. Now I wonder how that happened. Now take a look at the plaque on the right wall. The graven message states, "Something, something, certain doom." That doesn't sound promising, especially for someone as clueless as you. Though it does sound entertaining for me. Perhaps your blind luck will last a few more steps. But unfortunately, this will take more than a few steps. By now, you've probably noticed the nasty razor-sharp spikes protruding from the walls. Again, it took a great deal of work to get them installed here. I'm very proud of the work, although I lost so many workmen. Even your minuscule mind should be able to comprehend that the slightest wrong step in this room will trigger this treacherous trap. Now examine the honeycomb of lettered floor tiles. Did it occur to you that the letters might be significant? Must I spell everything out for you? Very well. Attempt to make your way across the grid of connecting hexagon tiles in such a way as to spell out the warning message that begins on the left plaque and ends on the right plaque. Since it seems you have little chance of surviving this room without my gracious guidance, I have provided the following solution. Tread wisely as you cross this room. One wrong step spells certain doom. If you follow the correct steps, the gilded gate on the far side of the chamber will open, granting access to an alcove with an ancient tome. Go ahead, stumble onward. Tomb Antechamber! It appears that you have reached the end of the line. But as you know, in my dark domain, things are seldom what they appear to be. Read the message in the book to discover that you still must pass the final test. After this sinks in, place your hand upon the diagram. No, your other hand. Yes, that one. Yes. Abracadabra! The wall vanishes before your eyes, revealing my secret tomb chamber. Venture forth to discover what hidden horrors might be lurking within. The tomb. You've discovered the tomb chamber at last, but now you're faced with a solid stone wall. Trust me when I tell you that this one's not going to simply disappear. perhaps there's a secret way to open the tomb. If you examine the surrounding blocks, you will find that the Egyptian engravings can be energized by touching them. When you're done wasting time, consult your journal and compare the Egyptian gods diagram to the hieroglyphics on the archway. It appears as though each one of the symbols on the tomb door corresponds with one of the gods. What do you think might happen if you activate each of the gods according to the order of their symbols on the door? What have you got to lose? Since I have little hope that you'll be able to deduce the simple solution, I have provided the answer to this cryptic conundrum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There you go. If you somehow manage to resolve this ancient Egyptian enigma, the tomb door will open to reveal my most magnificent treasure, the Sarcophagus of Doom! The Sarcophagus of Doom! I have to say doom with extreme emphasis. It's the only way one can ever say a name like that. Once you're done trembling, gather your wits and take a closer look at the sarcophagus. Examine the golden disc at the center. It's a puzzle lock. You didn't think I was going to leave my cryptic casket of conjuration wide open, did you? I'm not an idiot. You probably would, though. In fact, you're probably the kind of person that leaves their keys in their car every single time, and leaves the car unlocked, and also leaves the keys in the ignition. Don't be intimidated. If you get stuck, you can always beg for my humble help. Stuck already? That didn't take long, even for someone as clueless as you. Very well. Swap and turn the golden triangles to restore the Arcanum sigil design. In the likely event that this puzzle proves to be too taxing for your brittle brain, I have graciously provided the solution. There. If you somehow find a way to restore the Arcanum sigil, the completed puzzle will transform into a golden hand surrounded by 13 keyholes. And who said collecting all those skeleton keys was a waste of time? Me, you say? I don't recall ever doubting your actions. Let's just agree to disagree and move on. The hand seems to be missing something from its grasp. Are you still carrying that old amulet with you? Once the puzzle has been activated, use the 13 skeleton keys on the lock, inserting each key in the correct keyhole. If you are clueless as to what to do next, allow me to suggest using the Hand of Fate diagram in your journal to match the symbols on the fingers to the symbols on the keys. And no, do not start playing Hand of Fate. You have to finish this game. Since the odds are against you ever solving this confounding conundrum, I hereby offer the final solution. There you go. When all 13 keys are in their proper places, press the amulet to open the sarcophagus. Prepare to bask in the awe of your greatest discovery! The sarcophagus opens, revealing a treasure beyond compare. I assume no introduction is necessary. Not only are you in the presence of greatness, but you have now become one of the Arcanum, even though you are but a mere lowly apprentice, and a terrible apprentice. It is a high honor indeed. Well done, Initiate. You have proven yourself worthy. I hope you didn't take offense to any of my jeering jests and jabs. The last thing I would ever want to do is insult your meager mortal mind. Lies. The end. And that is a full reading of the Cheater's Compendium. This is the last part. I did this in parts, and if you notice the little edits throughout this, that was me editing out pauses or some of my larger screw-ups when reading this. I kept a few in, but I wanted to try and, do a proper reading of this without having to read it over and over and restarting, so on. And also, I had to edit out one moment where my dog started shrieking and barking at some noise outside. She's very loud. So yeah, that was the full reading of the Cheater's Compendium in the snarky voice of my snarky Doctor Arcana voice. Not the really deep voice, otherwise I would kill my throat completely. And this is the last part for my Let's Play of the Cabinets of Doctor Arcana. I'm sorry this video is so long. It takes a while to read through this whole thing. It's a very long guide. So, this is Mineral Lupin, finally wrapping up the Cabinets of Doctor Arcana. Remember, if you like this video, please remember to do things like press that like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to my channel, or just sharing this with your friends on social media. Every little bit really does help, and so please consider doing those things. And you can also check out some of my other playlists at the end, and playlists and videos, which I'll be putting up. They may have already popped up already, I don't know. And I'll see you guys with I will see you with any more videos for this, because I've done everything. But I hope to see you guys again in some of my other videos or video projects. Either the ones I have now or some in the future. And I hope you enjoyed, I hope if you have this game, I hope you enjoyed it. And if you were watching this Let's Play from beginning to end, I hope you enjoyed it. I know some of it, it was only quite a ways in that I ended up discovering the power of how to fast forward and stuff. I probably should have done that before. Oh boy. I'm so sorry about that. But at least I know how to do editing things like that now. But I hope somebody enjoyed this. And that'll be all, guys. Bye.